Welcome. The first trick the devil taught mankind when he came down to teach black magic was how to lie. I repeat, when the devil first came to earth to teach mankind black magic, his first trick, the first trick up his sleeve, was how to lie. Thanks for joining me. It's Bob McKibben from Roanoke. Speaking of Satan, he's been preventing me from making this video for a long time, and I don't feel like getting into that right now. I don't have the luxury of making sure everything is just so in order to make this video, or this video will never be made. Do you understand? So, viewer beware. This video will hopefully explain this sect of witchcraft, this particular lane of witchcraft. And by the end of this video, hopefully you'll be able to identify when and where this witchcraft is taking place. You'll be able to understand a bit how it works, hopefully. So, what the hell? Let's get right into it. So, when the devil first came to Earth to teach black magic, his first trick was to teach man how to lie. Because lying is magic. In the beginning there was the Word, okay? God spoke, "Let there be light," and there was light. You understand, sound is important. Our speech, what we say, is immensely powerful. What's the oldest incantation? What's the oldest magic words? Abracadabra. What does that mean? I create with my speech. This is very telling, because we all create with our speech, and in that way, we're all just witches and wizards, like casting spells, aren't we? But when we create with our speech, and we speak lies, not only do we create with our speech, but we create a false reality with our lies. When you tell someone a lie, you get them to believe a false reality. They begin to speak. They begin to believe what they speak, and in turn, they shift their realities around your lie. And thus, your lie becomes reality, because they are under your spell. Now, it's a very powerful form of witchcraft, and I see the similarities between woo-woo stories of magic in ancient times, witchcraft, and I find direct parallels to the lies and deception that's going on within our government. These lies, these tools of manipulation, are witchcraft, and it's the same tactics that are being used in the psyops that we see today, that we are victims of. You ask yourself, why the elites all practice these wacky rituals, the symbolism. Why the super rich, believe in blood sacrifices. It appears there's something to all of this. The Jewish religion filled of wacky rituals that the Goyim just don't understand. Yet, these Jews are like among the most wealthy, the most intelligent. They're the funniest. You see them in Hollywood, and you know, they're the coolest cats around. You know, and we Goyim see them as these silly people that conduct rituals. Okay, so we're talking about the elites. We're talking about Disney in particular. The mouse. Once we start talking about the mouse, you know all bets are off. There's some demonic shit going down. The Disney Carnival cruise ship, what did they just get busted for, huh? CP, I believe. Yeah, they're real wicked. Mickey's pet dog is named Pluto. Now, Pluto is like the planetary symbol of the Lord of the Underworld. You might as well... Plutos, right? You might as well name your dog Lucifer. I don't want to throw you off. These Satan worshippers worship Saturn, not Pluto. But Saturn is Satan. Hence, why they worship on Saturn's day, Saturday. It's the day they worship. It's the day they have off. And they call it the Sabbath. But I can go into a lot of that, but it's a little confusing. We're focusing on Disney. Disney has let us know throughout the years that they're aware of occult knowledge. They proved this in Fantasia. The movie Fantasia, they expose a lot of esoteric knowledge, specifically knowledge in the world of sacred geometry, which goes hand in hand with the esoteric knowledge of sound. Sound is everything. Sound is geometry. And they are masters of sound. People forget that even Looney Tunes was spelled Looney Tunes, as in music tunes, Tunes, not Toons, like cartoons. This is because they had musical production capabilities, whole orchestras. Looney Tunes was heavily music-oriented. You'll see if you go back and watch. And these master musicians teamed up with these cartoonists, and cartoonists are just wizards in their own right? I mean, they create a complete false reality with all the bells and whistles, music, themes, drama, laughter. It's the perfect distraction. It's the perfect distraction to have you under their spell. And I love cartoons as much as the next man, but you know, there's levels to this shit. So Disney, the Wicked Mouse, you see 666 symbolism everywhere. The esoteric knowledge, the smut, the dirty images that are found, the sexually explicit content that is found, oftentimes not even hidden in these movies. We direct our attention towards Lion King. Now, Lion King has some iffy themes about it. Okay? different languages are used. English, Swahili, even Zulu languages are used in The Lion King. And another gentleman explained it on YouTube. I'm going to kind of reiterate what he pointed out. But everyone knows the song, Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase, right? Wrong. If you translate Hakuna Matata in different languages, let me show you what you get. Let me show you. Oh, they're gonna make me do it again, you pieces of shit. You pieces of shit. No worries, right? Mind your spelling. Because it becomes a problem. Hakuna Matata. How did he not bow, Uncle? So by switching the spelling, you are now casting this spell. How did he not bow, Uncle? He does not what the hell? This is not sane. There is trouble. And this is the language of the Lion King. He does not bend, Father. I'm gonna find it, folks. It takes me all day. Should not dry it. What the fuck is going on? Should not hate it. Damn it, folks. There is no confusion. There were no complications. But keep in mind, you fucking idiot. Zulu is also spoken in The Lion King. There are no fathers. Do you see this? Do you see how hard it made me work for it too? Hakuna Matata. I didn't alter the spelling at all. There are no fathers. Do you have any idea what this means? Do you have any idea the implications of having a song that goes, there are no fucking fathers, there are no fucking fathers? In The Lion King, you have Simba, who is an African, okay? You have a character who is African singing about, I don't have a father. Because in the movie, his father dies. Do you have any idea what you're saying? You're telling little African kids that it's okay to go around singing, there are no fathers. The African kids are going to see this movie and sing along. They're going to chant these words, okay? Casting their vibration throughout the universe using scalar waves. This message, getting you to now cast the spell. But it doesn't stop there. No. It's doing this to me again. Ma, tata. What more do you want? There are no problems, right? But let me tell you this. So this is in Japanese. What are we saying in other languages? When other people around the world hear this broadcast, what are they hearing? Let me tell you. In Japanese, aku means evil. Okay? Let there be no dispute about that. Aku is evil in Japan. Aku. What? White. What did I tell you? Evil. Say it, damn you. Say it, damn you. Huh? It just said it. Aku. You remember in Samurai Jack, the big bad guy, his name was Aku because he was evil. Aku, Namu, Tata. The next word we get is Namu. Namu means adoration, praise. Right? It at least means name. Damn it. South water. It doesn't matter. Look it up. Namu. means praise. And it means praise not only in Japanese, but in Sanskrit. And Sanskrit is like one of the oldest languages. All other languages before that were known as pre-Sanskrit. So, and tata in Japanese or Sanskrit means father or goodbye. So together we have praise the evil father. Aku namu tata. Evil. Praise father. It's not that hard to pick up. They're fighting me for it. But let's adjust the spelling to Akuma Matata. Very slightly. You might actually hear this. When listening to Akuna Matata, you might actually mishear them and hear Akuma. And what would happen? Akuma Matata, you misspell one word and you get completely evil. Devil waiting. Do you see this, guys? Okay. So we tweak the spelling in our favor. What if we put it back? Akuna Matata. You see this? Akuna Matata means evilness. So to the little Japanese kids, we're running around singing, motherfucking evilness. Motherfucking evilness. What the fuck, guys? Do you now realize the implications of this witchcraft? This is nothing more than witchcraft. Because it makes you wonder. It gets in your head. You start believing things. Do you think they meant it? Do you think they meant to put these messages in there? Why would they do this? I don't have time to go into why they would do this, because the list is endless. I can think of 1,000 reasons why they would do this. Reason number one being just to fuck with you. It gets in your head, you start wondering about it the minute you open your mouth about it to someone else. You've continued the spell. And that's just free advertising. They're capitalists as well, so it all works towards the same beast. So we're going to go to the OG. We're going to go to Latin. No worries. See, it means no worries, even in Latin. But I bet you if we tweak the spelling a little bit, it would say something different. Ever so slightly. Now this is going to blow your socks off. Who else is guilty? What about the guys at Nickelodeon, huh? Quiet on Set, Dan Schreider. We had Nick. Sorry. Nickelodeon. Alright, I spelled it a little different. Let's mind our spelling words, shall we? Nick. Kilo. Dio. Nothing to say, nothing to do. What? I don't believe. No one says die. They got me again, damn it. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of this. They won't let me make this video. They don't want me to make this video. I want God. Hello? English? Nothing, I told you. I want God. What have they done? God. Nothing I say. I would never say this or type this with any sort of meaning. Is no. See that message there? I would never say that and mean it because I know there is a real God. Latin. Alright, well. They're always editing this shit. Constantly. Covering their asses. But Nick Kilo Dio means there's no God. Nick Kilo Dio. We all know Dio means God in Latin. The band Dio named their band Dio because it was God. And if you add the suffix N, Kilo Dio Nickelodeon, it means like you are one of these Nick Kilo Dios. You're a Nick Kilo Dio, D-O-N. You gotta understand how etymology works. Etymology? Ethnology? Which one is words and which one is insects? I'm going crazy over here. So here we are left with a conundrum. How do we combat? The witchcraft that's going on? It's It's a good question. How do we combat the witchcraft? This is how, my friends. We change the language. Me and my friends, we made a vow to become excellent communicators, because that is our most powerful weapon. If the language isn't of use to us anymore, then let's change the language. Okay? You know, we make up the words to suit us. Shakespeare himself was attributed to adding over 1,000 words to Webster's dictionary. He made up his own words. Now, Shakespeare, there's a lot of controversy over who Shakespeare really was. Some say he was Francis Bacon. Some say he was actually the king. Some say Shakespeare represents a group of people who just wanted to buck the system. So they told their stories through plays. They were playwrights that their mission was to point the finger at oppressive governments and sort of shake their spears at them. They became the Shakespeares. And by telling their stories and by creating new words, they spellcrafted. They assisted in witchcraft. And were their intentions like mortal? Who knows? Now, we change the language. It's all our playing ground. We implant the intention and thus the importance. We make the words. We make the celebrations too. If you don't believe in Christmas, if you don't believe in Halloween, don't celebrate it. Let's make up our own celebrations and give days new meaning, attribute new meaning and new reasons to celebrate, reasons that are important to us. We can reclaim our sovereignty. And it all takes a little change. We just need to communicate. We need to come together and communicate. I used to think I was an excellent communicator, because I knew a lot of words. But it took my brother, my friend, my bandmate, to point out, you may know what those big words mean, but there's a little friend called context clues. I used to think this was lame. Why use context clues? Go ahead and use big words in your speech. If people don't understand your big words, fuck them. That's their problem. Don't waste breath with context clues. But no. My friend showed me that context clues are your friend in your journey towards perfect communication. Say I use a big word, like, oh, the guy was rather insouciant, in the sense that he just didn't care what people thought about his outfit. You see how I use context clues to define what the word insouciant meant. So, bless me. So, using context clues, I put a little bit of love into my speech. Just for the other guys that didn't understand what I said the first time. I don't want to be misunderstood. Okay? Because that's a slippery slope. You might think I'm casting witchcraft. You might think I'm projecting a false reality. But no. I use I love words. I love learning new words that allow me to paint a picture of what I believe is the truth. You hear those frequencies in my words?